Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk to you about club path. Now if you saw my first TrackMan data series video, you'll have understood a little bit more about face to path value. This video series is not just for those that have got access to a TrackMan. It also details the various ingredients that are going to influence your golf ball. The club path is a component of the golf swing that I think I hear still, with all of the technology, all of the advances, still hear club path being referenced too much on the mat. The mat is a symptom. The club path is a symptom. The club path is a symptom of various other components. The club path is your ability to feel like you're stopping the golf ball going in the direction your ball bends in, or pushes in, or pulls in. But really it's in reaction to the direction it bends in. And there is a very distinct difference between that. If your ball has no curvature and you hit a pull, you won't shift your path. If your ball flight is straight, it's a push or a pull, you won't change your path. It is only when you have curvature in the sky that your path will change. That's a really important distinction between the two. Create bend, look back at the data series on face to path, and then you'll be able to affect your club path. Excuse me, still fighting the chest infection. The show must go on. Therefore, today, I've just got the club path up. The club path, for those of you that aren't fully aware, it's the direction the club is travelling through strike, either to the right, to the left, or straight. Now when we do that, and I demonstrate that, and I've got a club in my hand, we see the path as a dead straight line, because I've got a golf club out, and how often we get alignment sticks out and we stick them down on the mat. You've got to really appreciate that the path is never straight. It is a moment in space. It is almost a 0.001 of a degree of the circle. The club path is never straight. It's always a circle to some degree. It's just where the circle is orientated to the right, that when you strike it, even if my club is going in on this part of the circle, because the circle is pointed over there, it would show up that the path is travelling to the right. Again, important to understand that, because all too often we get people trying to push the path in a straight line, and it can't be in a straight line, and invariably it comes directly through the club head. The path is, without doubt, as I said at the start, an ingredient that people change or try to manipulate. But what I want to do today, and John Crete commented yesterday on my face to path data series video, what values are we looking for today? I'll give you some decent values on the window that you should be looking at for your club path. What affects club path? You know what I'm going to say, don't you? If you've watched enough of my videos, you know what I'm going to say. The face to path value affects the club path. The face to path value is primarily affected by the face orientation. The primary influence on the face angle is, let me hear you say it out there, it's the grip. If you've not checked it out, the grip series is for you. It is for everyone. When you take the golf club and you start to create a ball that bends to the right, I'm going to aim myself to the left, and I'm going to make the ball bend to the left. So I'm aiming down the left, I'm going to make the ball have bend to the left, and what we'll see is we'll see a negative path, and because you can see bend in the sky, look at the shadow of the golf ball. My club path has gone to the left. Now, the path and alignment the reason why I separate the two, you could have someone standing open and they would be trying to shift their path to the right. Lee Trevino, good example. Paul Hasinger, good example. A couple of oldies for you newies out there. Primarily, the bend in the sky will make you either try to push your path to the right or to the left. So the shot that you hit on the first hole, when you make the ball bend to the left like that, your club path and your aim wouldn't last very long aiming to the left, would it? If I created that same bend for 3 shots and I kept on aiming down the left, I'd get pretty bored with seeing that bend. Therefore, I would aim up the right, I would create the same bend, and all of a sudden, I would hit my ball at my target. Now I've created the same amount of bend as the shot before, but now I've adjusted my alignment. And look what club path I've got. I've got inside out 16 degrees. I didn't swing the golf club inside out to my body. I just orientated my circle, my golf swing to the right to accommodate that. So the first and the top of the pile that affects the club path is your face to path value, which is affected primarily by your grip. So if you've got bend in the sky, the club path will either react positively or negatively to it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm now going to aim on the same direction of that club path at 16 degrees, and now I'm going to make my ball bend to the right. If you're staying on floor 3 in the Russell's Hotel, duck because there's a ball incoming. So I've aimed down the right, my path is inside out, so my path was less inside out than the 16 degrees. It's still inside out 6 degrees. There's a lot of you out there who would love to see an inside out path at 6 degrees, wouldn't you? But remember, it's only inside because I've aimed in that direction. It's very different to aiming straight and then trying to make a path go out to the right from a straight orientation, which is absolutely faulty, and we'll talk about that in a moment. The club path swung from the inside, but because my face was open, look where my golf ball went. My path was more to the right on the first shot at 16 degrees than the second shot, but my ball on the second shot has gone miles away from my target. Do you think I'm going to swing the club from the inside of my ball to target line for very long, hitting that kind of curvature? Absolutely not. So therefore, on the very next shot, when I see that, or should I say, if I play 2, 3, 4, 5 shots like that, the very next shot, I'll be aiming down the left, and I'll be hitting that shot that makes the ball bend back onto target. Now my club path is down the left at 15 degrees, and the ball is bending back to my target. When you see people set up on the tee box and they go, oh man, I always aim down the left. Well, that's because you always have a bend of the ball to the right. Oh man, I can't stop myself from aiming up the right. That's because you have a bend of the ball to the left. So therefore, your alignment and your path line will affect itself relative to the bend in the sky. Understanding that then gives you the power to not work on your path, it will work on your bend. Now for a standard shot, and this is going back to the lovely John Crete's question on face to path, what is a value that should be playable? Face to path between 2 and 5, either positive or negative, and therefore your path should reflect that. If you've got a bend in the sky right to left with 2, 3, 4, 5 degrees of right to left bend, you'd want to have a path similarly 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right to offset the bend. So if you're hitting fades and you're hitting little Virginias down there, you're going to want to aim yourself up down the left, and you're going to want to have a path line of 2 to 5 down the left so that the ball bends back onto target. Similarly, if you're hitting little draws, you're going to want to get yourself down the right by 4, 5, 6 degrees to similarly try to draw the ball back onto the target. You can see that my path line wasn't quite right enough, didn't quite aim myself right enough to accommodate that draw. The club path is influenced by the bend in the sky. So that's grip. The second influence on the path line through strike is primarily the orientation of your pelvis and the center point of the pelvis. So if you were to draw a straight line down underneath my pelvis, there is my golf ball. And if you can imagine that where the golf ball is the outside of the circle. So I've got a circle that's coming around here. So there's my circle. Down at strike, that's the track of the club head. For those of you that are just dawning on you that the club head doesn't track in a straight line, welcome to the party. If I put the center of my pelvis to the left of that golf ball, I will approach the golf ball more from this part of the circle. The more I move off the golf ball and right-sided through strike, the more I will approach the golf ball on this part of the circle. So where your pressures are through your feet in strike and in transition will affect the path line. So I'm going to go up to the top of my backswing. I'm going to load left aggressively, and then I'm going to pull on the golf club and hit the ball. Very close to the heel. Look at the path line. 7 degrees from the inside. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a backswing. Now I'm going to bump weight onto my right side. I'm going to pull the golf club and strike. Still finished in my full finish position. Now you can see the path line is outside in. So the pressures through your feet will affect the arrival point of the golf club. So we go up to the top, we hold force and pressure in my left foot, and I can make that club path arrive from the inside. Force and pressure through my left foot, bit open with the face on that one, but the club still arrived from the inside. Now I'm going to get rid of that pressure on my left foot a little bit earlier. Oh my God, I just piped that one. I'm not editing that out. Now all of a sudden, I push off the left foot a bit earlier, and now I can swipe the golf club across the back of the ball, and I can now make my path work to the left. Push off the left foot a little earlier, hangs me back, and now it swipes the golf club across the back of the golf ball. So the pressure through my feet will dictate where the center point of the circle is, and it'll either make the club path track from the inside or track from the outside. Well, that's a first. Nice little piper on camera. Hope you enjoyed that one. I'm blaming the chest infection. The pressures through the feet really, really do matter. Now, a third influence is the arc and radius of the golf swing. The more narrow a golfer is on the way down, the more someone lags and loads the golf club, the more the club will unload from the inside. That will make the club approach from the inside. The more a golf club unloads the golf club, the more the club head will swing from the outside and around the path line. Didn't get that one. Let me just do that again. So we unload the club early, cast it if you like, and the path line will track to the left 13 degrees. So we've got grip, foot pressure, and arc radius. Now, the one that everybody will have practiced is trying to shallow the shaft, hold the right arm in, and all that absolute garbage. I absolutely encourage you not to do this, because trying to hold the arm in, restrictive, going to slow you down. Trying to actively shallow the shaft on the way down invariably translates itself in trying to make your arm plane flatten out. So I would go with those three as an influence on changing your club path. It's a big topic, and there's lots to talk about on club path. Understand that TrackMan is giving you insights into your golf swing, and because of that, you need to understand how relevant that data point is and how much you could influence it by the actual data point and whether it's actually useful or not. I can't remember the last time I actually asked someone to try to change their path, because it's been so long ago. I would say 10 or 15 years ago, because club path is a symptom. It's not an ingredient that you need to adapt and change. I hope you found that useful. I'm really enjoying this because I think there's going to be so many offshoots of videos that will help you, as I say, not because you're using a TrackMan, but giving you insight into what's really important and what's going to get you golfing to the best of your best of your ability. I hope you found this useful. Please subscribe, do share with your friends while you're here. I think you'll agree that's good coaching. I'll see you on the next one.